Personal story segment tonight. We continue our interview with Comedy Central titan Jon Stewart. Yesterday we debated the wisdom of the White House inviting a controversial rapper to a poetry reading. And tonight we turn our attention to politics. Presidential politics, Republican side. Any Republican possible candidate that you like, that you respect? Do we have music that we can put under Stewart?
That I like?
Yeah, that you respect. That you
I
think might
like a few. I mean, like them personally?
No,
or
that
like
would be a good president.
That would be a good president?
Yeah. Anybody out of the 50,000 that may want to run.
Well, look, again, the standards for presidenting, I don't expect the president to be a superhero. Let's get to the elections coming up. Before any Republican can gear up to defeat Barack Obama, they must first destroy all but one of themselves. I would imagine that Tim Pawlenty seems like a reasonably logical individual.
Pawlenty. Are you willing to endorse now?
Endorse?
Yeah, Pawlenty.
Well, right now I'm looking at whose campaign to help run. I think he seems like a reasonable guy.
Has he been on your program?
Mitt Romney looks like if you were to open a box labeled president and pulled something out, it would look like Mitt Romney, so I guess I would enjoy
He's
that.
He's got hair like you guys got the same kind of hair. It goes up a lot.
Little salt and pepper. And we're both Mormons, so there you go.
So,
wait,
is that an endorsement of Romney? Do you like his policies? Do you think he's a good leader?
I thought that he didn't do terribly for Massachusetts, as I think Pawlenty actually was a little worse for Minnesota than maybe Romney, I think, was for Massachusetts. And I look at their executive experience, and I tend to think that executives tend to make good presidents because they've had that experience.
All right, so Pawlenty and Romney, because they did okay in their respective states, you would consider them as viable candidates?
I would absolutely consider them as viable candidates.
Sarah Palin. She was a governor and high approval
I'm sorry,
ratings.
I think my earpiece went out.
Yes, Sarah Palin, governor of Alaska, but left office with high approval rating.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got to know her.
No, see, she left with high approval rating. She was in there.
Fair enough.
Like her?
I am not a particular fan of her style of rhetoric. I think she's too thin-skinned.
Sounds like Colbert you're describing.
Colbert I would actually endorse for president. She is reminiscent to me much more of a television personality than a politician, because I think that her inability to get past slights, it makes it very difficult to, I would just imagine her at night just with the hands going, did you see that thing that Marcel, that stood?
Newt Gingrich? Hello, hi.
Yeah, listen, he has, definitely his head is large enough that you imagine there are great ideas in there. But it's so big, it's almost like they're free-range ideas, and I don't know if he could actually herd them and gather them and take them in.
By the time they're my age, they will be in a secular atheist country, potentially one dominated by radical Islamists.
How could a secular atheist country be dominated by religious extremists? I think that Newt does not have the, presidents tend to be very charismatic individuals. And I'm not suggesting that he is uncharismatic, but he doesn't, when you meet George Bush, when you meet Barack Obama, when you meet Bill Clinton, you feel them. There's a certain...
In a literal sense.
In a literal sense, some of them. Sarah Palin has that, by the way. She has that sort of star quality and charisma.
Absolutely.
I feel like he doesn't. He would be an excellent guy who stands behind the president going, yes.
But you don't hate him like the New York Times. They loathe him.
Oh, I don't, again, I feel like this country is stronger than any individual you can throw at it. So I don't hate any of these people. And I don't think personally that the damage they can do is so drastic and so great that we would ever be run off course by one individual.
Okay. James Buchanan comes to mind, but I'm not about that. All right.
You are old.
I am. How about Donald Trump?
I pray.
For or against?
That he runs.
Dive in, Donald.
You know what I did yesterday was very interesting. I said, where's my birth certificate? Give me my birth certificate. And they brought it to my office. I have it.
And then I said, you know what, dip my birth certificate in gold, give it some fake and tell it to wait in my bedroom. That's how easy it is. Trump 2012. I'm hired.
You'd like him?
The man puts his name on everything he has. The only other people in the world that do that are 6-year-olds. Like that, for a comedian, he has his name on a helicopter. Who puts your name on a helicopter? Does he lose it in the parking lot? Like what? Why would you have your name on a helicopter? He has silly hair and crazy thoughts. That to me, I mean, he spends, before he runs for president, he spends his day arbitrating arguments between Meatloaf and Gary Busey. For me,
that could be good in diplomacy, though.
I could put another wing on my house if that guy runs. I'd be honored.
So you're not taking him seriously.
No,
you don't take any of these guys seriously, though.
That's
you might
probably because I think, you know, unfortunately, the system that we've got makes it harder and harder for people to govern effectively because so much of their time is spent running.
I actually agree with that. Okay, when we come back, Jon Stewart will talk about President Obama.